morning.
LeBron James is right now at the epicenter of the sports world. He has almost single-handedly brought a degree of interest to the NBA Finals that I think otherwise would not have been there, with a terrific but unsexy San Antonio team and an all-time great but highly unsexy star in Tim Duncan. And along comes LeBron James, and, you know, could this be the coronation of King James? Could this be the beginning of a Jordan-esque or Magic-esque kind of run as an all-time great player? Meanwhile, LeBron James has another event in his life coming up. LeBron's girlfriend, Savannah Brinson, who had their first child in 2004, a boy named LeBron James Jr., is not only pregnant with their second child, but is due to deliver on June 17th, which is the date the Cavaliers are tentatively scheduled to host Game 5.
Yeah, the split in the finals, it's 2-3-2. So the 3 games in the middle will be in Cleveland, and Game 5 in Cleveland, scheduled for the birth of his next child.
So what do you do? Your wife, or in this case your girlfriend,
we
is
talk
about
about
to
this
have
a lot.
baby.
Sporty, the athletes, do you leave the game? Are you there for the birth? Are you not there for the birth? Where do you go? What do you do? Well, LeBron made it pretty apparent what he's doing.
Well, I've already told her I'm not missing any games. I'm not missing any games because of the birth of my second child. I was there for my first one. So it's definitely going to be tough on me, but I think she understands how much I love my teammates and how much they need me.
Okay, now, LeBron James may go down as the greatest player in the history of the NBA at some point, or at least in the team picture.
Right.
But in working through the how I'm going to talk to my better half about the birth of a child, he's not going to be in anybody's Hall of Fame.
Some advice.
Yeah, the advice would be probably not to phrase it that way.
Yeah.
You know what the outcome that you want, but there are other ways to get to that other than, well, I told her I'm not going to be there for the birth of our second child. I was there for the first, almost like that's enough.
Yeah.
No matter how many kids we end up having, I was there for the first, been there, done that. Oh, I know you have to be there every time. I was there once, that's enough. I think she needs to know or know just how much I love my players. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not going to win. You know what?
Questionable.
Do you think this may cost him some diamonds?
Listen, to me, these are questionable comments. Now, look, I mean, it's his life and his relationship, and if that's the way it works, God bless him. But, I mean, that would be a tough one. Honey, I'm not going to be there for the birth of the child. You just need to know how much I love the guys I work with.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just not where I'm going.
You have to believe that what direction she was going to go. I mean, the phrasing, hey, honey, you know, this is scheduled. What do you think? What do you ask? Get some input from the person that's going to give birth to that child and do most of the work, LeBron. Just a little bit of advice. As far as the birth of a child, it's her world. Yeah. Okay? Make her feel like part of it as far as you being involved.
I would add, I have 2 words that I think could just solve this entire problem. Yeah. And those words are voluntary inducement.
There you go. Pitocin's a beautiful thing. The Pitocin drip is great.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
As the nurse said, we're going to hang Pit, which is this drug that they put into the IV, they put into your wife, or in this case, your girlfriend, and boom, a couple hours later.
We're contracting and we're having.
And it doesn't have to be on the day of a game. And just how voluntary does this have to some people think, oh, there has to be an emergency. No emergency. A friend of mine emailed me after we had this conversation earlier. He said, my wife picked her day based upon when the right room at the hospital would be free. I mean, you can do this when you want to do it.
You really can. And quite honestly, the odds of him missing the actual birth are it's a home game. It would have to be right in those hours of when he's at the arena and during a game. So what? You know, a 6-hour period?
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, that's a draining. I mean, ideally do it on an off day. I mean, let's hang the Pitocin on an off day.
Yeah.
Have the baby on an off day. You know, I mean, let's do it.
LeBron, my friend, listen, love watching you play.
Love you.
Whew, the delivery we're going to have to work on a little bit.
Listen, you
know what? You may be King James, but in your house, my friend, you're just a prince.
That's exactly if that. All right, you're a court jester if you're in my house. All right, you may be the king, but every now and again you got to pay some attention to the queen.
Absolutely right.
All right, so that would be my little unsolicited word of advice. Still to come on the best of my